like developing your learning, like making it better.
And how is it better? What is the
Like,
difference?
Trying new ways to make it seem better.
Mm-hmm.
Like process of growing, like getting a bigger mindset.
Okay.
I think it's better because, like, some people are slower than other people, and some people can be like working on like ninth grader work when they're in eighth grade if they're at that point, and other kids can like work at their own pace.
Oh, so it's focusing on the pace side of things. Then.
Mhm.
And you mentioned the mindset. Let's talk a little bit about mindsets. That was one of the things that we worked with teachers a little bit about, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. What does that mean to you, and can you think of examples where you've seen that within your own work?
Well, like for me, I think it's like developing like more practice is progress. For me, I wasn't too good at math.
Mm-hmm.
And this year I completed an 8th grade skill in math.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're working on geometry. We just started that today, and I really don't like geometry.
So do you have a fixed mindset about geometry?
Sort of, but I'm kind of looking forward to learning more about it, so it might be easier when you have to do it more.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what it looks like in the classroom then. You mentioned pace. Are there times when you can work at your own pace, or tell me more what that looks like?
Well, sometimes they have like choice boards where you can pick a project that you like, and then other people can like pick their own projects,
Mm-hmm.
or you can propose a project, like come up with your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because some people, they're better at things than others.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for example, me and my brother's good at drawing and I can't draw. So when we have to do a project in like art and stuff, he's always the one to do that and I'll take the other half.
Now, do you work with other kids quite a bit on projects, or is it more independently and individually?
Yeah.
Like more together.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I see we work together a lot.
Yeah. A lot of times we do work together, but there are some projects that they have us do alone so that they can see like where we're at with that and like what they need to work on with us.
Do you get to choose when to work with kids, or is it more teacher directed?
Sometimes the teachers choose when we work with other kids, but other times you can go up and be like, can we work with a partner or alone? And they'll be like, yeah, that's okay.
When you work on these projects, do you do quite a bit of it on the Chromebooks, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes there's things like posters and stuff like that, but a lot of times we do use our Chromebooks.
Mm-hmm. Now, the teachers, do they do a lot of the direct instruction, or do you have places where you learn about things that are new to you that isn't just from the teacher?
Yeah, we like, the teacher, they give us like the instructions and everything, like they teach us things, but say if I was gone this day, they'd be like, well, since we didn't quite cover this, you could go on Schoology and just look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like take notes, because I went to a funeral last week, and a lot of the stuff while I was gone, I just had to like read and take notes.
Okay.
Instead of having to do the actual work, because as long as I got it, it would be okay.
So some of that then you got from online as opposed to just being there with the teacher.
Yeah.
Do the teachers do a lot of work with you in small groups or individuals, or is it still a lot of whole class instruction?
It's a lot of times it's whole class instruction, and then you can like break off into groups or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Do you get to work with teachers much individually, or is that still pretty hard to get time?
You can work with teachers individually. It depends on what they're doing with other students and stuff. Like if they're busy, you know, you have to wait for a while. But a lot of times you can get to like ask them questions and stuff.
What's your relationship with the teachers like? Is it a little bit different in an environment where you get choice?
Kinda, but for me, I don't know. I'm one of those ones that I get along with everybody, so.
Me too.
I have like, I don't know, like, I'm one of those ones that like to learn a lot, so.
Mm-hmm.
being with uh, me having to do like my own choice, it's more easier for me because I like to do projects and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it does seem a lot easier because you can choose what you want to work on instead of having to do the same thing as everybody else, because some things are easier for some people and harder for others.
And like different paces. People always work at their own pace.
So you can work ahead, or if you're having trouble with something, you can take longer?
Yeah.
How does that look then? Is there a time when you get too far behind, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
how does that look? What is?
Like you have a certain amount of time to get something in. Like there's always due dates, and if you come up
Yeah.
short on due dates, like we have ICU. You could do like extra time to help you get your stuff done.
Mhm.
We have in the morning, afternoon, and before we go home.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And when we do Pride Time, there's like a workroom where people can go if they have stuff on their list and they can work then.
Okay. So when you do your work, it's primarily on the Chromebooks then? Do you get to take those home, or do you?
No.
So how does that work if you've still got work to do and it's the end of school day? What do you do?
like
Well-
there's after school.
Yeah, they have after school things like every week
Okay.
that people can go to if they want to, unless they have like 3 things on the list and they're required to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there's computers at the library, and the library is associated with a school.
Okay.
So
You
if
can
they,
go there if you need a computer.
yeah,
Or there's other sources,
yeah,
like such as history. If you don't got your computer, you could use a history book.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's the same with science.
Yeah.
So you can take some non-technology
Yeah.
things with you too. Okay. Well, I think, should we take a look at
Sure.
what I think what we'll do is have you show us like what Schoology looks like and what it looks like for you when you come into school. And we'll have you, I think what Ryan's
Drop
gonna do
mine.
is he's gonna bring a camera around and we'll just have you show us a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see how this works. We don't know if it'll show up well on the screens or not, but we'll try it. Let's see.
Like there's like when teachers post something, it always shows up first.
Like the newest post shows up at the top.
Okay.
And then your assignments, some that are overdue, show up. Then you get notifications like when a new assignment was posted or when something was graded. And if you need like your grades and stuff, it's on the side. And or if not, you could go to courses and say if I was in English, I'll click on English and it'll take me to all my folders.
Mhm.
And the folders are where the assignments are then?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
sources, how you could accomplish the assignment and directions.
Like in history, she has them in sections, and like she has a resources folder that you can use.
Hang on just a second. You want to switch
Yeah.
to that one with the
Yeah, she's got like a resources folder that you can use to have resources for your assignments. And these are like what we've been working on lately. And this is the one that we're on right now.
I see. And then as far as choices are concerned, where does that show up in here?
Like sometimes, like Mr. Alexander, he's got choice boards a lot. Like if you go into this one, he's got like the rubric, and then during Veterans Day, we did a thing where we had to do like a paper on a veteran, and we could either make up a story, do a biography on one, or interview one if you knew one.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd give you like choices for that and have all the different rubrics on it.
And so you would go in here and it would show you those multiple ways that you could do this assignment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rubrics, tell us more about the rubrics then. What does that mean?
Like this one. The rubrics are like, usually they have them in like squares,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're divided up, and it's like, usually for English, it's like grammar and spelling and neatness, depending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another one that choices falls under is like science. We always do choice boards in science. Like at the beginning of the school year, we were kind of figuring out like where we were, and we got to move at our own pace. Like we had to get this certain amount done in this time of day, and if you got that done earlier, you could go through and move on. And we had the choice to like do what we were, work at our own pace. And
See this? She usually has choice boards for us in science, and those are just like telling you what the assignments are,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like, you have to like pick 3 mini labs or something like that,
I see.
and then once you're finished with them, you can move on.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives you like an amount of time that she wants you to try to be done in, but if you're not, it's no big deal. Like you can catch up later.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you use Google Drive for some of your documents. So how do you turn in an assignment if you have something typed up?
it shows up on here. So like if I wanted to turn in an assignment for English, if you just click on the assignment, my computer ever loads. And it's like, it shows up on your apps, and it shows up on everything. So like our Schoology and our Google Drive's hooked up to our account. Like my account is hooked up to my whole computer system, and so everything that happens in my drive, and if I need to turn something in, you just attach it to a file and then hand it in.
Okay. So you actually turn it in under Schoology then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it's like something that needs printed out, you can share them with it on Google Docs and they'll print it out for you.
I see.
Like we're doing a character interview on Hamlet,
Mm-hmm.
and if you needed your script printed out,
Mm-hmm.
you could like share it with him and he'd print it out on his printer, and then you could use your scripts while you were doing the interview.